So today I want to make a new video going over the farm I've been doing on stream, and that is Meatsacks Scarab farm. So originally I got this idea from Snoobay. I feel like I've improved upon it enough to make a video about it, as the improvements are pretty good. So anyway, what is this farm? So you're essentially killing Meatsacks for scarabs, and they drop a lot of scarabs. Probably the most amount of scarabs you can get in one map. I've been averaging roughly one curation every 2 maps, which is very high. And as you see these clips, you just drop a lot of loot, including uniques. You're not even targeting uniques, and you still drop a lot of uniques. I've probably gotten 10 tier 0s in like 8 hours. It's pretty insane how many uniques you actually get in a farm like this, despite not targeting them. So yeah, you're just farming scarabs. The whole farm is a scarab farm, but it's focused on Meatsacks, and because of that, it's very hard. You need a very good character. And as you can see on the screen, yeah, it's a lot of loot, including a lot of uniques. So let's talk about it. So yeah, it's focused around the All-Flame Emperor of Meatsacks and also the All-Flame Emperor of Anarchy. This is also pretty important. I'll talk about in a second. So for the Atlas, we are doing the standard back to basics. All Scarab nodes, of course. And we're blocking everything to increase our curation drop chance. So if you're not sure how this blocking works, despite being back to basics, you can block these nodes to essentially increase your odds of dropping stuff like the Curation Scarab, which is like 9 to 10 divines right now. So these nodes are pretty worth taking, and that's why we are taking them, as I get that question quite a bit. And yeah, it's just all map effect modifiers, quant, same tree as always. You guys have seen this quite a bit. But there is one thing you can change here. So you can do 2 things here. You can use 2 Atlas trees like me. So I use 2 different Atlas trees, where I have this spec, or I don't have this spec. Or you can respec. So if you get, for example, you open your map, and let's say you get quant right here, you can then respec your Atlas tree, or swap to your other Atlas tree. You can just do it right here. And then the quant would increase. So yeah, this is a little bit of a max you can do if you want. If you don't want to have 2 different Atlas trees for the same farm, you can just respec these 6 points right here, and then grab these. But yeah, it is pretty worth doing this though. So anyway, yeah, basic, back to basics, Atlas tree. So let's talk about the scarabs and all that. So yeah, we're using a Nemesis Scarab, Glitterin, and 2 Abercies. So these are the really 2 big scarabs for this farm that I've added into this. And you can also use a Scarab save ability if you're dying quite a bit. This farm is very hard. Like I said, I did not recommend this unless your character is very strong. I would say bows are not even very ideal for this farm. You probably want to be like Penance MF or even DDMF. I rebuilt my character to give me a lot more damage for this farm, and even still as a bow character, yeah, you still kind of want more damage. So yeah, this is an option. You would replace Abercy Scarab for this one. Yeah, Glitterin, just very nice. Despite having item quant, there's really nothing else to use, and it just gives us like around 25%, 30% more items dropped if you're an MF character. If you're not an MF character, this gives you 53% more items dropped. 100% quant is 53% more items. So yeah, very strong for this farm. And because of this scarab, you don't really have to be MF. Of course, you will get more value and more dips per hour if you are MF. But yeah, it's good regardless if you're MF or no MF. Nemesis, of course, since we're farming rare Meatsacks, this just adds more quant. Every additional modifier on a monster is more quant and rarity. And then of course, 4 additional mirrored rare monsters, which because of the Anarchy All-Flame, we guarantee all the rare monsters to only be Meatsacks. So this guarantees 4 additional Meatsacks. So let me explain the interaction real quick. So on this farm, you use Meatsacks on all normal and above density. So for example, it would look like this. The problem with this though, right, because you wouldn't want to use a Meatsack on like low and very low density, because then you're just not getting that much value. There's like 80 to 100 chaos, so you're not getting that much value if you use it on low. But the issue with this is the Abercy Scarab is going to mirror 4 rares. So the way to prevent this from mirroring anything but a Meatsack is that you can use the Anarchy All-Flame on the low density monsters, and then it has to mirror a Meatsack because Anarchies are only unique monsters. So it guarantees essentially 8 mirrored Meatsacks, 8 more Meatsacks, which is actually quite a bit. That's quite a bit of rares, as your maps don't have that much monsters in the first place. So this is really high value, and it's what made this farm a lot stronger than originally what it was. So yeah, you would use Anarchy All-Flame on anything low and very low, and then you use Meatsack on all normal and above density. So that's the basics of it, the scarabs, the tree, and let's talk about the profit now, and also like all the annoyances, is it worth it, all that. So yeah, profit per hour is anywhere from 80 to 110 divines. So now it is quite a wide range, and because like, what do you want to count? So let's just go over it real quick. So yeah, in terms of map cost, it's around 4 divines per map, and it's 6 to 7 maps per hour, so anywhere from 24 to 28 divines per an hour of your supply cost. So you see this hour, we got 97 divines. So with map cost, it's like an 8 divine profit hour. This hour, we got 105 divines, 80 to whatever, 85 divine profit, right? And then this one was 111 divines. So this one was pretty close to a 9 divine hour. So how does this stack it to like 100 divines to 110 divines an hour? Well, that is because you drop a lot of uniques, and if you count these uniques, like corrupted uniques, so for example, today, I have gotten 20 divine cloak of flame corruption, I've gotten multiple 5 to 10 divine corruptions, I've gotten 2 mage bloods, 2 defiance, headhunter, squire. If you count all these uniques, the farm ends up being over 100 divines an hour. It just depends if you want to count them. So I did get 2 mage bloods today. Now of course I think 2 mage bloods is lucky, but I think 1 mage blood a day, 1 mage blood as in like maybe 8 to 10 hours of gameplay, is pretty average. You drop a ton of tier zeros. You definitely drop more than 10 tier zeros within an 8-hour time frame. So yeah, if you count my mage blood drops, if you count my corruptions, this all goes up like 20 plus divines an hour, which pushes into that 100 divine to 110 divine an hour benchmark, after counting costs, of course. So yeah, the cost is pretty much all in the meat sack in the map, as the scarabs are pretty much free. So the map you also want to run is something like this. So you need a +2 rare modifier and 100% more scarabs minimum. This is the base form of every single map you want to run. Now with that said, you can also roll for other maps while rolling for these meat sack maps. So you can roll for barrel maps, like my other farm with barrels. You can roll for a barrel map and the meat sack farm. You can roll for like Shaper Touch, which just got nerfed though, but yeah. So I would say you can roll for barrel maps and this meat sack maps at the same time. And the reason why you kind of want to do this is because rolling these maps are very, very annoying. This is probably on average 80 to 100 chaos to get 1 usable map. It's a lot more chaos rolling than the barrel maps. So it is really, really annoying. I would try to buy these on trade if you could. If not, like I said, roll them yourself. Tell maps you can't do. Put barrel maps aside when you want to do barrel farm. But yeah, that is the worst part about this farm. And if you do include the rolling time of these maps, I think profits go down like negative 20% an hour. That's how long it actually takes to roll these maps. So yeah, but with that said, rolling plus 4 meat sack all flames plus the base map cost itself, it's roughly 4 divines a map right now. It is pretty good. This is counting on meat sack all flames at around like 80 chaos, if you're curious at the time of this video. So yeah, these are all the maps I want to run though. Like I said, +2 rare and 100% more scarabs minimum. Currency is nice. We don't really care for that much, as meat sacks don't seem to drop that much currency, although you will get like a divine or 2 and a nice high currency map. Of course, it's a lot less than what you get through scarabs. So you're talking about profits again. I seem to get 1 curation every 2 maps. So these were all like 7 map hours. And as you can see, this hour I got 4 curations and 7 maps. This one I got 4 curations and 7 maps. And this one I got 3 and 7 maps. So yeah, I think with this new Seas plus the Anarchy All Flame tech, I seem to be averaging 1 curation every 2 maps, which is extremely high and also really lucrative as well, right? And outside of that, you can see the profits. It's just all scarabs. And since we are hiding most scarabs and blocking most scarabs, it's not too bad for selling, as you're probably only selling maybe 15 to 20 different scarabs, so it's not too bad, and you can hide more if you want. And then of course, alterations are, yeah, alterations are a pretty high profit margin of your farm as well. So yeah, alts are really, really big as well for the profit. Make sure you pick up your alts, they are pretty expensive. But anyway, that's it. That's the video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. This is a pretty fun farm, but also it's very, very hard. Personally, for a bow build, I would not suggest doing it until you have a mirror fizz bow, maybe even more. I'll probably also post a POV of my new updated character for this farm, as I doubled my damage from my previous video. Just for this farm alone, I had to drop greens and stuff, but yeah, that's it.